Hey, it's Kimmy the Gadget Goddess, and we are back up in here for our week plus follow-up on the Oppo Find N2 after using it with the Oppo Find N1 for a week and kind of going through things and seeing what our pluses and minuses are. Maybe you're on the fence, you have the Oppo Find N1, you want to see if you get the two, or if you should wait, or what's going on. Let's go. I am going to start off with cons for this phone. I usually start off that way anyway. I think people like to give you cons just so you know the bad parts before we get to the good parts, because I have lots of good parts about this phone. So I'll start with the cons. I did get my matte front protector for you. I didn't install it on camera because, again, when I get a third party kind of deal and when I need to replace it, I will replace it. But I did want to show you that the front fit, and again, this is the same screen protector used for the Oppo Find N1. It fits all the way around. It fits better. There's that edge coming up on the Oppo Find N. Here, it's just flush. It fits. Nothing's coming up. And again, you can just install this on top of here and you have no issues. My first con, and I think it's going to be fixed relatively fast with a software update. Anytime you send a message that's not to RCS to somebody in reference to money, or just somebody who's not on RCS in general, it might spin and take forever to send that text message. And this is only on Google Messages. If you use the default app, which I just jump over there. If it's somebody I know has an iPhone or somebody who's not using RCS, I'll jump over there, send them a text message, and I'll jump back into Google Messages. There's no delay. There's no, oh, we can't register this number. Everything works fine. I like Google Messages. The default app is fine. It's glorious. It sends multiple messages to multiple people. It's no issues with it like when I initially got the Oppo Find N1. You can opt to use the default messaging app, or you can opt into switching back and forth like I do. I don't know many people with iPhones and don't use RCS. You might know a ton. A thing that I think, again, will be fixed with software updates, so I'm not too worried about it. That's the first con. Get that one out the way. All the other cons are kind of cons you knew or you should have known before you bought the phone. Number one, they have removed wireless charging. Wireless charging is on the Oppo Find N1. It's not on the 2, but you have a 67-watt charger. I'm amazed at how fast this phone charges up. Sometimes it's not even an hour. When it gives me the alert saying I'm at 20%, I just plug it to the charger. And at that point, I'm going to be charged before I'm ready to leave and go somewhere. The volume rocker, again, is one of my biggest cons because they moved everything to one side. I like the flexibility of being able to open the phone, volume up and down on one side and power on the other. But the plus to that is if you want to take screenshots and not use the 3 fingers, your buttons are right next to each other for the power and the volume up and down. Here and there. It's all about personal preference. Everybody likes something different. That's just what I like, okay? My main dock only holds 4 apps now. I can't opt into the 5 apps like the Oppo Find N1 has, but the Oppo Find N2 only holds 4. You cannot use a launcher on this phone. Not currently, anyway. You might be able to scooch over there to XDA and see if they have a workaround. Currently, I don't use third-party launchers, so I don't care, but that might be a big to-do for you. I know a lot of people that like to use Nova on every phone they get. Again, I've never understood that, but to each his own. No Android Auto, no global option currently, and no water resistance, okay? Although, I mean, I've taken the Oppo Find N1 and been caught in a rainstorm and I was fine. I just haven't been out and about enough with this phone to say, hey, it'll do the same, but I'm pretty sure that it'll be the same. So I'm not really worried about being caught in a rainstorm. All right, let's get to the pros because I'm all about the pros. Calls are clear. Wi-Fi calling is included as it was at the end of my cycle with the Oppo Find N1. Yay. 5G is much faster. I will show you some side-by-side speeds. I took screenshots when doing speed tests with both devices in the same area. So when I put them side by side, these are the phones being tested in the same area, not at the same time, testing one, then testing the other, and comparing the speeds. I haven't had my Moto because I've been running these 2 in tandem. This phone I find to be more comfortable in hand. It's not a ton lighter to me, like a lot of people were saying, oh, it's so much lighter. It's a little lighter, but it's not like, oh my God. You can feel the difference, but it's not a huge difference. It's much more comfortable in the hand though. You can get 120 hertz on both screens. That's a biggie for a lot of people. I'm only using 60 on both. It improved my battery life because out of the box, you're running 120 on both. I did not have to upgrade that. That was already in the settings for me. And I just prefer to have the battery life, and I don't need the high refresher rates. Again, to each his own. I already mentioned that charging was fast. That's another pro. Once you set your notifications up, I will drop my card for my video here to show you how to set up your notifications. I've yet to find an app that does not run on this device properly. You might have to turn it this way versus, running it this way. And I got everything set up and everything's working fine. I don't have any apps that don't work on this phone. So that's a plus plus. I get alerts for everything. And all is right in the world. Always a plus to have all your notifications working and all your apps working. This phone is compatible with a pen. It has pen support. They sell a pen for like $150. I'm not getting the pen because I didn't use a pen with my notes. So how do I look getting a pen for this phone? I put both phones on their brightest setting. I can easily tell that the Oppo is brighter. I try not to use them on their brightest settings, but these would be both phones on their darkest settings, and I think even the Oppo Find N2 gets darker. I don't know if that's a factor for you, but I like my darkness is dark and my lightness is light, so hey, Oppo Find 2 all the way. I will tell you that although both phones are running Color OS 13, they're on 2 different build numbers, right? Which is fine. They're both running fantastically. One thing you might ask about is battery life. Battery life has been about the same for me. Although, when using these phones in tandem, I find myself going to this phone more. So for it to last as long as this one's lasting, that means the battery life is better. I will be getting away from having the same form factor. So that way we will get a true definition for battery life. But I'm charging every other day. But again, I'm a 2 phone carrying individual. For somebody who only carries 1, that's going to be very different. Flex mode. You get flex mode. That was one of the things about every foldable I've had. Oh, it doesn't have pen support and flex mode. This phone has pen support and flex mode. All right, Samsung people, because I think y'all are the only people really upset about pen support and flex mode. The Z Flip 4, does it have pen support? Well, whatever. It's not a big deal to me. Flex mode I still don't use, even though I have it, but I tried it out, used it on YouTube and a couple of other apps, texting apps, just to see that it actually works, functions as it should. The hinge is very much improved and the cameras are improved. Testing out for stabilization at this point. A little moist out here, it rained, but I wanted to get you some footage of both, see how both phones are doing. Oppo Find N and the Oppo Find N2. Shooting these straight up and down, not horizontally, purposely, so I can put them side by side. I will do another where I do horizontally. Here's your sun. Here's the grass. Birds sound pretty happy out here today. I will put camera comparisons from both phones. Took out the great octo mount, and so I have both phones in tandem side by side to record video, to also take photos, so they're at the same place. I'm gonna stick those at the end of this video just to give you some side by side. You got the Hasselblad. I use watermarks. It probably won't show on all the photos just because how I position the photos in the video, but you should be able to tell one from the other. I will keep all of the same photos for the same camera on the same side throughout the ending of this video. So all the Oppo Find N's will be on one side and all the Oppo Find N2s will be on the other. I'd like to thank you for your time for stopping by this video, catching up on my 1 week update with the Oppo Find N2. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. This is not by any means a final review of this phone. With the last Oppo Find N, I think it was maybe 3 months into having the phone before I gave a final review, because I like them to get in a good bit of updates. They usually update the phone quite frequently when it first drops. So after updates, after having the phone and going through all its trials and tribulations, I like to know this is what the phone is like. This is not the honeymoon stage. This is what the phone is really like, and this is how I honestly feel about it. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to come back and check out more on the Oppo Find N2, make sure you subscribe. Subscriptions are free, membership costs and memberships have privileges. There's no pressure for you to join as a member. We do a lot of fun things. You get early access to content and you get members only streams. If you might be interested in that, click on the join button and see what those membership perks have to offer and what tier you might want to register with. If you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button. I'd like to thank you for your time, because time is money. And speaking of that time, we got to get up out of here. So I'll catch you on the next video.